Welcome back, mourners, to the Lucky Die. Previously, Lafian gets his friends out of danger, Rhal is stuck in a cage, and Zaltanna deals with a slug. Face to face with the other team, our brave adventurers win the battle against their foes, but so does Hester against his foe, Squash. With Squash dead in Bellum, what happens now? I guess we're about to find out. Welcome back to the Lucky Die.
The crowd has fallen somewhat quiet as they are watching over the spectacle of y'all having wiped out the 4 combatants from Bellum and seeing Squash's somewhat punctured body laying on the floor between you.
I'm going to make a con save because it's necessary.
100%, please do.
I'm going to look at Balance, Lafian, and I'm going to point at Squash's body because I can't do anything because the spell slots that I could use to potentially do a restoration spell have already gone. So I'm going to go and take all the orange things and slam dunk them in the basket so we just win.
It is 60 foot in the air.
Okay, fun. It's my time to shine trying to figure out how to get to this basket 60 feet in the air.
I'm going to say we're out of initiative.
Okay, you figure that out.
That's my job.
Deal with Lafian's going to go over to Squash and
How did your con save go?
He passed.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Any point for you to have failed is probably it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fine.
The disappointment in your voice is
Palpable.
No, it's fine. I think that unless someone has something else for Rhal to do, I think that
Be tall for me to launch myself off of.
the most that I could do is invisible servant them up there.
Oh, yeah, okay, do that. Here.
Okay. Yeah. You draw Rhal's attention back to what we need to do, and he'll cast Unseen Servant.
Yeah, let's get that done because
And while Unseen Servant's going, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I think Rhal's first instinct is to pick up Squash and
no.
yell for Hagen.
No. No. I got it.
Yell for help.
Yeah, as much as you do that, as you kind of go and grab hold of Squash and yell for Hagen's help, and as you look over at the crowd, you see that Adet and this kind of moth-looking creature are right at the edge of the arena. It is obvious they cannot get in right now, but you can tell at least they are ready to there, and you can see that Hagen and his giant form, the crowd passing around him, is just behind the pair of them.
I'm also going to run over to Squash since I've given all the... I can't jump, so I'm going to give this to Rhal and I'm going to run over to Squash.
Yep. Lafian, what are you doing, my bud?
There's more powerful people here than I.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the flags?
Rhal's...
Unseen Servant is carrying them.
Is it going to be able to get up there to put them in?
It's a floating magic thing. So yeah,
Does it fly speed?
it's a floating magic thing.
That doesn't answer the question.
It's a stalking something. Tio can get it.
Yes. Basically, Unseen Servant is always Tio.
Okay.
So, Tio observes no rules.
Is Tio going to have the Mark of Bellum?
Huh?
Is Tio going to have the Mark of Bellum?
I guess you're about to find out.
Oh, God.
If not an Unseen Servant and nobody answers the call of Bellum. I guess you're about to find out on this one. But yeah, absolutely. As soon as you call for Tio, he kind of just appears next to you if he's always been there. And you'll take all 4 of them in his mouth and he'll fly up with them and put them in the bowl. but that won't happen immediately, so I'll let you know when that does.
When does it happen, V? When does it happen, V? 6 seconds? 10?
12.
Bring him back.
How long has it been?
Are you just going to be sitting there, is what I'm asking. You're not going to go, I know Tia's going to be there in approximately 18 seconds, so I'm going to do nothing. It is also fairly valid as the rest of your teammates to just sit there and be sad.
I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting. There are more powerful people than I here, but I'm impatient.
Okay, take a...
There's one more thing I can try to do.
Take a survival check.
Stunning strike the Spectre.
Is that your plan? No. Go through the stalking? No.
No, I can try to get to the stalking, but it's hard to do here. So I'm assuming that that's not going to work, but it would be out of character for all not to try.
Yeah, so. Understandable.
Survival. Oh, God, I'm not good at those.
It's not the world's most difficult check, you know, Tio.
13?
15.
Yep.
Yeah, you can tell like 12 seconds he'll be up there with everything.
How long has Squash been out for, though? That was only
at this point,
one turn?
Yeah, at this point it would be like 3 rounds. So you know that you still have like...
that would be 30 seconds. Oh, God, there'd be 30 seconds. Okay. Yeah. Fine. I'm going to...
He's been out for 18 seconds.
6, 12, 18.
Yeah.
But it's going to take Tio 12 to get up.
He basically casts it also immediately. So by the time... Basically, he gets up there 18 seconds after Squash dies. Does that make sense?
I was dead for 1 round, and then Tio takes 2 rounds, bringing the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Got it.
So Squash is out for 18 seconds. That gives them 42 seconds.
Lafian is hovering over Squash's body.
Yeah, that's fine.
And has a very serious look on his face. Like, if someone does not do something within the next, 30 seconds, he'll do it himself.
Dope. Okay, good. Because I don't want you to use any resources, but, I didn't know how you guys were going to get up there.
For flavor, Lafian is, standing over Squash, and there are, purple, arcs of, psionic energy coming off his fingers. Like, he is itching to help, but he's also trying to restrain himself.
Mm-hmm. So
Zaltanna's looking at you like, what are you waiting for?
He's, he's not even looking at you. He's looking specifically between Hagen, Odette, and whoever else the fucking moth person is.
Correct.
Because apparently they want to jump in as well. And
to help or hinder, you just don't know.
They're going to try to fuck shit. I swear to God, I still have enough side points to blow this fucking arena to smithereens.
Odette is not going to kill Squash.
No, the moth person.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
if Odette, I would hope that Odette would not.
No, she wouldn't. She's a good girl. We love her. Hagen, as the 3 of you are tensely hovering over Squash's body, Tio takes the bands, takes them up, and basically very carefully drops them into the bowl, and there is this huge eruption of fire. The vortex above you spins out of control, and then like a hurricane dissipates all around you, spreading out and across all of Bellum. You can hear that the kind of the platform above and the kind of roof that had been put on begins to disintegrate and showers down upon you like so much very fine glass rain. You can hear the crowd, they're much, much louder now. So it's kind of like that sound just suddenly comes back in. Odette, Moth Lady, they just appear right next to you the second that falls. Okay. She puts her hand on Squash and she puts her hand on the Moth Lady. Is anyone else coming with?
Where?
It's the resurrection. The stop.
Sacrifice stuff.
I can't go. I'm a goddess, but I can cast this.
I'll go.
I want to, but I have something I have to do.
I'll go.
Okay.
I'm here.
She kind of just a few put her hand on her shoulder.
Yep.
And there is a bright kind of bluish light that appears on her hand, and she touches the wound exactly, the mortal wound over Squash's chest. Lafian, you and Moth Lady find yourselves in the stalking. It is not like this. It is not the arena that you find yourself in. You actually find yourself in the kind of the hut that all of y'all were in before you came here to Bellum. So Demi's hideaway hut that was protected from magics. There's nothing really different here. There aren't any papers on the table. Everything is empty, as if she's taken everything and gone. Sitting in the corner, you can see a Spectre that you're all very, very familiar with, being Rhal and Squash's Spectre.
Hello.
Good to see you, though not under these circumstances per se.
Alas no. You've been here once before.
And he looks over at the moth lady and he says,
Freya, you've been here many times. What do the two of you wish to do?
Is that a question?
Mortals aren't supposed to die in Bellum. Or Cicero. The cost is a little higher than a simple revivify at home for you.
and you see that Freya, she nods and she says, I understand. Whatever I have to do.
Definitely an eyebrow raise from Lafian, looking at the moth person, registering that this is a little weird, but no comment.
Do you think you could persuade him to come back?
I definitely think I could. I don't think he has a choice. Not that I'll give him one.
Well, that is a good way. He once taught my daughter that if somebody sacrificed for him again, he would not come back.
Who are you?
I am Freya.
Sorry to say that name doesn't ring a bell to me.
That does not surprise me. Demi does not speak of me often.
Oh. We'll talk after. Nice to meet you. Your daughter's a wonderful person.
She tries. A little misguided at times, but for whatever reason, she likes this one, and I have had to forgive him many things, hence why Dad could work with me to make this happen.
Oh, okay, forgiveness and all that. Right, makes sense, yes, no. So, Lafian turns back to the Spectre. Apologies. Very frazzled right now. Do I make the argument first? How would you like us to proceed with this?
A small something from you, and a slightly larger something from Freya.
Tell me when it would be a good time for Rhal to try to show up.
Oh, in that case, you can pop straight in, mate. Like,
Well, I have to roll for it.
yeah,
so.
I need you to make a persuasion roll.
Was it a disadvantage because we're in the...
Nope.
Okay.
There's no weird shenanigans happening with the barriers right now.
Okay. 23.
Yeah, you absolutely pop straight in. I'm going to say that you can pop in basically whenever you felt like you could have, so you could have heard whatever part of the conversation you want.
I think it's fine for him to just pop in.
Yeah,
now.
absolutely. Now it's fine. Yeah.
Hi,
Hi, Spectre.
how are you doing?
I'm okay.
That's good to see.
Whatever the cost is, I can help pay. Rhal looks across to everyone, not knowing any of the prior conversation.
Rhal, you have given up far more than enough, thank you.
I could still have things, maybe. I can think about it.
Rhal, we have a lot coming up. We need everybody as intact as possible. I think among our group, I'm the only one that hasn't done anything yet. Despite my many trepidations. Too far into it now.
What do you have that wouldn't be harmful?
Whatever either of you gives up, it only needs to be small.
And the moth lady, she says, I will give up the memories of my children. And you see the Spectre nod.
Oh, I see how you're related now. Okay.
Would you forget them anyways after a while here?
Rhal, don't give secrets.
That is a possibility, but it is not true for everyone. I am aware that you have met Helena. She is a celestial and she retains many of her memories. I am the same. My sons, they understand. Their father will not, but that is not his decision. Do not tell her. Does not need to know.
I could help, maybe relieve some of that.
No.
I have memories I could give up as well.
You have a very important job to do.
I don't need my memories to do that.
Your memories, whether they are good or bad or important, they shape who you are. A simple memory, a memory that may not mean much to you, may mean something great to somebody else. That memory lost from you. A simple kindness to a stranger, a kind word from somebody you've never met, can change your outlook for a day, and that can change how you behave that day. Memories are tricky. Do not give them up lightly. You still have life, even though you are one step in the grave. You are not dead yet. Do not give up your memories.
I could offer more service. Spectre, time?
Spectre nods. He says,
That could probably be done.
Would I be able to make a request?
who are you talking to?
The Spectre.
He nods.
Since Rhal is insistent, but I am equally so, could we allow Squash to decide?
Squash to decide what?
Which between the two of us makes the sacrifice? Don't give him the choice of if any of us can.
What are you willing to put on the line?
My dark vision. Squash has been more so my eyes than anything else recently, so I figure it's a fair trade.
Rhal. How long?
It was 500 years. What was the deal for the 500?
I think it was 100 years.
Was
Maybe
it
500 years? I
Oh
don't
my
remember.
god.
I think it was only supposed to be 100 years, but I may have said 5.
I could give up some of my magic. I could give up some of my resistance to harmful things.
You're
Really quickly, can I retroactively say that before they left, before Lafian left, Zaltanna pulled him aside and said, "Don't let Rhal give up anything else." Because she would have.
yeah.
And that's also how she feels.
Years. I just need a number.
Just
years is a good metric. That's fine.
I don't know how the promotions work, but starting out with one might not be such a bad thing.
start as part of the SVU.
Let's go with an automatic promotion. Spectre nods and he says,
You have been closer to death than most. You know how a lot of this works. I'm sure I could persuade Miracle for exchange of time. I will speak with him.
he looks at Frelia and he says,
Thank you. You can probably go now. Once Squash decides, the two of you will be able to speak with him.
and with that, doodle, 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 I'm going to go find Squash. Oh, wait, what is Zaltanna up to?
So Zaltanna, I know we're out of combat, still in a blood rage.
Of course.
I'm going up to Hester. He's up in the stands now, right?
No, Hester's
No.
super dead.
He's super dead. I need to figure out a way to talk to Grumsh. That's what I want to do.
Oh, so there are a crap ton of either orc descendants and orc changes around. That's where the Moth Lady came from. She was very, that collection was right quite close to your supporters. So you can rock over there. You recognize Bloodhorn markings, no matter what. Like, you've seen Damaz a lot. You know Demi.
First orc I see with Bloodhorn markings, I'm pulling them aside.
Yeah. It's a they look fairly youngish. They have a singular eye to Cyclops, not Eye of Grimsh. They seem to have like really big beefy arms and what looks like a single horn growing out of their back.
I need to talk to Grumsh.
All right.
Can you put me in touch with him?
I can. Yeah, hang on. And you see him turn around. He yells something in Orcish, and you see someone who looks a little bit more magically inclined. And he turns back. He says, "Yeah, Grimshetty to speak with you when you get back. You shouldn't be long now, right?"
Yeah. I need to talk with him right now. I hate to be insistent, but I gotta.
You see him turn back again, and the kind of the more magically inclined one. Like, I'm gonna say, like, everything is like deathly still and quiet right now, apart from the creatures that can't stop making noises. You hear them converse a bit, and I need you to roll a persuasion roll.
So that's a 15.
Yeah, he said he'd be here in a minute or so.
Perfect.
All right.
She sits cross-legged on the ground with Calamorn. She takes Calamorn out, sticks him hard into the ground in front of her, and sits cross-legged with her hands resting on his hilt and her head bowed.
Okay.
Until Grumsh gets there.
Fair. All right. You remember being knocked out. You don't remember the death blows. You don't remember any of that. You find yourself... No, I'm going to let you decide. Where does Squash feel the safest?
Safest. It's a loaded word.
Yeah. It can be like metaphorical, it can be literal, like it's your choice.
I like going back to it. It's not where he feels safest, but it's a memory he goes back to a lot, so it's very like solidified in his memory.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the roof of the Gentleman Dueling Club.
Okay. Yeah. Everything is sepia toned. Mm-hmm. You are unconscious 1 minute, and the next second you feel the roof tiles beneath you. You're sitting down, and you can see that the sun is in that state of about to go down. It's very quiet.
Squash like sits up. I'm imagining he's like appears lying down as he was. And
yeah, pretty much.
Sits up. He runs his hands over the tiles, and she's like, "Okay. Spell, illusion, charm, or Hester actually did it."
He did.
Who said that?
A Spectre is basically standing behind you as you sit up.
Squash turns around. Hester did it?
Yes.
He kind of like sits down next to you.
That's not good.
No, it is not. I understand your apparent importance in what's happening.
Yes, unfortunately.
This is supposed to be the end of your story. I know already where you wish to go. You've seen it. Unlike most people, I don't have to describe Cicero to you.
Nah, got a shortcut there once.
Twice, even.
True. Sorry about that. I was not trying to make your job redundant. That was just an accident.
Not a problem. My job is more to guide peacefully, answer questions.
Well, don't have a lot of questions other than, do I have a choice right now?
You always have a choice. There are many, in fact. Cicero, Bellum, you can decide to walk away from the protection of the Spectres and wander out into the stalking a bit. Again, you've seen how that turns out. You can wait for your friends and your loved ones to try and bring you back.
Yeah, that's kind of the choice I'm thinking about. You know the unfair thing?
What's this?
You're gonna make them pay, aren't you?
He nods.
Yeah.
But you understand the cost of magic.
I know. There's gonna be a rift. It's gonna have my name on it.
It is.
There's gonna be a price, and it's gonna have my name on it. A lot of people are gonna suffer because I decided to pick a fight with Grumsh. I'm the only one not suffering.
I disagree. Your dad, It's a bit of trauma to go through, my friend. You're being offered the chance at... I know that you would choose Cicero. I know that you would choose peace. Not until your mind goes blank and your body goes numb will you ever find peace. I believe this.
And he gestures to the roof.
Is as close as you've probably ever gotten in life.
It was after a really bad evening. Demi didn't make me go out. She could see I was in pain. And something, I don't know if she gave me something or cast a spell or something, but just for like a good hour, it all just went away. Just for 1 hour, I felt like what I think it is to feel just normal. Like, no baseline pain, no baseline craving, no baseline want. Like I don't know. Like a kid, just content.
I can tell you it was no illusion. Not caused by drugs nor magic.
I guess that's a high worth chasing. Crude. Sorry. Gallows humor, I guess is what it's called.
We meet a fair few with that. It is your choice, Squash. I can tell your friends.
And you see that there's a kind of like a flicker of kind of purple and blue in his eye, just for the moment, just in the sockets.
Your friends don't have to pay the price, unless you decide that you wish to speak with them again. And from there you can decide if you want to go with them or not. But you do have to choose. They came at me with an interesting offer.
What did they offer? Can you tell me?
One offered... How did he phrase it? Squash has been my eyes for a while now. So it's, paraphrasing, fine to give him my dark vision. And Rhal offered many things. But he would be willing to do more time as a Spectre. He also offered many magics and resistances, but we negotiated him down.
That does sound like Rhal. Why does he always go for, like, the scattershot approach? Now, you know what? I can ask him that. Do you... I don't know how much tabs you keep on me and Rhal. Do you know my plans?
Yes.
You know, I have two things. One thing I have to do, and one thing I want to do.
Yeah.
And...
one of them, I will not be able to meet you again. But the other, thousands of years from now, yes, I'd still meet you, Spectre or not. You don't have to do either.
You're wrong. It's called a duty.
Duty rarely exists beyond death. The world does continue turning. People do step up. The old makes way for the new. I'm not saying you're old, at least not by my standards. There is a phrase we use, "Theteretast."
What does that mean?
Roughly in... things will work out.
See, that's a good phrase to say when you have many alternatives. But I think the world has not been given many alternatives right now. I don't believe I'm being a crazy king who refuses to give his rule. I don't believe that I'm being a selfish mate who doesn't believe that this is his time. I think things have just conspired to make death not really an option. I say that dead.
Death is always an option.
Yeah. But there's a bigger choice coming out there. The blissful eclipse will turn up. And at that point, a lot of people won't get choices.
No.
So, while I don't approve of, willingly sacrificing things, I understand that sometimes sacrifices need to be made. And...
would you do the same for them?
in a heartbeat. Every single one of them. I'd give Rhal my eyes. I'd give Lafian my intuition. I'd give Zaltanna my need to keep going. Every single one of them.
Okay.
And I'd do it all over again.
Then you have a choice.
I'm coming back.
Okay. Time or vision, that is your choice.
It's my choice?
They wanted me to offer you a choice. Being dead in Bellum as immortal is more difficult, but the bigger price has been paid. You just need to choose between Rhal spending more time as a Spectre, and I'm fairly certain Amor will get herself in enough trouble to be promoted also. And Lafian's willing to give up his vision in the dark.
Sorry. It's not a fun choice.
Roll off.
No. Squash is not picking up a random bone, chucking it and reading it.
Flip a coin. Flip a coin.
I don't have any coins. You guys banned me from stealing.
The Spectre puts a hand on your shoulder, like floats an inch above. And he says,
You can take your time. You don't have to come back right away.
No, I need to come back. There's a lot of things I need to get. Oh, gee, damn me. We need to make a choice, and it.
Do you need advice? Do you need a sounding board?
What is a sounding board? No, you know what? I don't have time for this. How does Lafian's hourglass look? Does he have a lot of time left?
Same as everyone else right now.
Right. When I'm stuck as timekeeper, can I go to the stalking?
You can if you learn how to travel through planes. If the world ends in the next few days, Rhal has as much time as everyone else. Lafian will only be without sight for 14, 15, 20 days.
Squash, scratches up his hair and kind of buries his face into his hands, makes a deep sigh, and then, I think Lafian's dark vision. I think Rhal has already signed him up for such a long prison sentence. And I can at least spend time with Lafian without breaking any planetary travel. I can't make the promise that I can spend time with Rhal.
Okay.
and with that, almost like you've been smacked in the back of the head, the pair of you find yourself sitting on a roof with Squash.
I've never done this before. Is this part of it? Are they real?
Certainly feels real.
Spectre reaches over, pinches Lafian.
Ah, why me?
Closest.
Is that going to bruise? Are you allowed to hurt not dead people?
Sometimes certain persuasions are needed. Application of a unstunning slap, I guess.
I'll remember that next time Dachin comes through the stocking when he teleports.
Rhal waves like he wants to give you a hug.
Hey, Rhal. Hey, Lafian. Thank you for coming for me. I'm assuming Zaltanna's out there rallying the troops of Bikron. Of Bellum?
Honestly, not sure.
Probably something like that.
What do I... sorry, Lafian, I chose your sacrifice.
I made the offer.
I know, but...
Wouldn't have made it if it wasn't something I was unwilling to give up.
It's not fair. You know that it's not fair.
Well, then I guess that just means you owe me.
Definitely.
Rhal pats Lafian on the back.
I can't
Spectre
tell.
rubs where he pinched you.
I can't tell if I'm being pitied or if I'm being told that I'm being an asshole right now.
Neither.
I think we're just respecting you.
Yeah.
Normally at this point they would be trying to persuade you to stay, but I think you've already made your choice.
There's no choice to be made, guys. We have to get back. We have to make whatever sentinel monster that we need to make. We need to kick the blissful Eclipse's ass. And then I have to take care of time forever and ever and ever.
Don't worry, there's plenty of time for that later.
Hey.
Oh, the time puns. You two can go.
Spectre looks at Squash and he says,
This is going to hurt.
Oh.
Take a deep breath.
Okay.
Good luck.
and with that, all three of you are basically spun back into your bodies. Squash, you have at least one level of exhaustion.
Okay.
You're at 0 hit points.
Oh.
Roll a 1d4.
1.
You are unconscious for 1 hour. You are unable to wake him for an hour, no matter what you do. Zaltanna,
Hi.
what did they come back to?
How long has Grumsh been here? By the time they get back.
Roughly. Oh my God. Roughly a minute after you sit down on the floor, sword buried into the ground, hands on hilts, an avatar of Grumsh appears next to you.
Grumsh, buddy.
Zaltanna.
I got a bone to pick with you, friend.
He sits down next to you.
How can I help?
Is it done? The shit with Squash? I need to know. Is this it, or are you going to be trying to kill him again once we get him back?
That wasn't me.
Yeah, but it was one of you guys.
Yes.
I know that I have to take I feel that I have to take responsibility for all my guys and what they do because they're doing it in my name, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to take responsibility for your guys and the shit they do, especially because he was doing it because you have beef with Squash.
I had asked that Hester at least keep an eye on you. I did not ask that he go forth and kill Squash. To the letter, he did as he was meant to do in this task, to test the 4 of you.
It was very clear to me because I was trying to antagonize him while it was very clear to me that it was personal with Squash. And it was because of your beef with Squash. And I don't want to begrudge you having a beef. That's clearly what I'm all about, right?
Smiles, yeah.
What I do need from you is to tell your guys there's a moratorium on hurting Squash until this is over. I'd prefer if, the moratorium was forever, but I know I can't ask that. But I need you to tell your guys, put out the word that no more Squash until the blissful eclipse is defeated. I can't be watching his back 24/7 as much as I'd like to. And
he pulls out his hand axe. He cuts across his palm. He puts his hand out in front of you and squeezes until the blood drips on your sword. And he says,
You have my word on this until the world is saved.
thank you.
he nods.
You're correct. We are responsible for our followers. I guess I should have been more vigilant of the dead ones, too.
You got a lot. It's got to be hard.
He kind of does that sighing thing. He's like,
Yeah. Esther has always been a wild one, shall we say.
Well, he's gone now, right?
By the laws of Bellum, he will be back.
No.
Different, of course. Maybe without memories. Maybe with more powers.
I'm sorry to tell you that if I see him again, it's on sight.
Understandable. No hard feelings.
Yeah. Still gonna have those weekly poker games when I get up there.
Wherever poker is, sure.
sure.
I'll teach you.
And I'll teach you God go fish.
What is that? Is that do you fish?
It's like Go Fish that the Spectres play. But we have more interesting stakes, being goats.
That sounds fun.
Nice.
And he actually just sits next to you and just looks where Squash's body was, because the three of them have disappeared, as has Adet and Frelia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how are you?
And at that point, three of them, Adet and Frelia, come back.
Oh.
Squash is unconscious, but it's obvious that he's still breathing. And you can see that the holes in his chest, they're not exactly healed over, but they're no longer like gaping wounds that are just bleeding everywhere. He is stable, however.
Well, once he's conscious, I guess we got to go rescue Demi. At least we'll get like a little bit of time to recoup.
She's fine for now.
Yeah, but for how long?
She met with Dacian fine. She stalled him long enough for Aima to do what she needed to do. Damage was minimized to the world. Demi is now meeting with Emil to work on the next part of the plan.
So she's not with Dacian. She's not at Dacian anymore.
She finished that meeting hours ago.
We've been up here. How would I know that?
Understandable.
But it'll be nice because then when Squash is awake, I can tell him that because he was really worried.
Yes.
He really likes Demi.
The feeling is quite mutual, much to my disgust.
Yeah, that's got to be weird for you.
Not a fan.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
Nothing. Until after the world is saved.
Fair enough.
All right. What do the three of you want to do while Squash is unconscious for now?
I'm going to tell Grumsh it's a pleasure as always, and I'm going to, give him a nice hearty handshake or fist bump or something.
Fist bump is accepted.
Fist bump, a good like bro fist bump.
Yep.
And then I'm going to get up, pull Callanmorn out, resheath him, and walk over.
Yep. Adet gives you a big smile as you come back, and she puts her hand on your shoulder. She smiles and she says, I'll be back later.
Okay.
I'm only here because of Frelia. You look great. You did amazing.
Thank you. You look great. I love you.
I love you too. And with that, she kind of like leaves. She and Grumsh just snap out.
Man, I can't wait until I can do that. So, what'd you give up?
Looks at Rhal.
Yeah, looks directly at Rhal.
Wasn't him this time.
Oh, what'd you give up?
My dark vision.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you could probably see, like, looking at Lafian, his eyes are doing, like, a weird dilation thing. Like, he's just thrown. Like, his pupils are just like, ooh, ooh. He's like...
Wow, you must really like squash.
Something like that. Pain in my ass.
Well, on a good note, I had an accord with Grumsh.
Okay, how'd that go?
He's agreed to put a moratorium on his followers trying to kill Squash until we save the world. After that, it's a free for all. I couldn't ask him to, do it forever. That would be unfair. But at least until the world is over, we don't have to worry about any more of his followers viciously murdering our friend in front of us.
Ballsy, I like it.
That's me. Zaltanna the Ballsy.
We're in the arena announce, ladies and gentlemen, Zaltanna the Ballsy. No, please don't. Don't actually do that. You know that's going to stick here for the rest of your soon-to-be immortal life.
Yeah. How are you both doing?
I'm seeing colors.
Yeah. Okay. Rhal?
I'm fine.
You better be fucking fine.
Just calming down.
So on the bright side, Demi is not dealing with Dacian right now. That apparently went okay. And now she's with Emil? Or planning to meet with Emil?
That sounds suspicious. Things don't just go okay with Dacian.
Yeah, I don't know. But what I do know is we don't have to worry about her getting murdered by Dacian within the next, 5 minutes.
Or do we?
I feel like Grumsh would have been a lot more concerned if that was something we had to be worried about. Because, she's his, avatar and shit.
That's suspicious. That's really suspicious, right? It's Dacian. He doesn't
He
play
definitely
fair.
has something up his sleeve, but I think it's probably going to be a trap for us when we get back. My best guess, I don't know what happened with Dachin. I don't have, the ability to talk to Demi through my brain like certain people here who are unconscious. And so I can't find out. And I can't use him like a secret, like a typewriter while he's unconscious.
We should probably get him to somewhere safe.
Yeah. Who's got the mark? Is it Rhal or is it Tio?
All eyes
That's
switch
amazing.
over to Rhal.
Hagen makes his way across. Now he hears that y'all have chilled out and caught up, like there was no rush anymore. Hagen reaches across and he joins you. And he says, at this point, it is up to you. Tio cannot bear the mark of Bellum. He is a creature unto himself and belongs in the stalking. Since you cannot carry the mark, and he looks at Lafian, and Squash did not even make it to the end of the trial, it is between Rhal and Zaltanna.
I mean, I think it should be me, but also I could see Rhal being a very good army leader. So
Hagen kind of giggles.
it's, do you want it? It's because Tio's the one that you and Tio were the one that got the stuff up there.
It doesn't matter. I don't know that it would be me leading the army so much as it would be calling on an old friend to come help us. Doesn't matter.
Okay, well then I'll take it.
I think that is a wise choice.
I just spent that whole fight half on my ass and I still kicked everyone's butt, basically.
Yes, you
I
did.
think I fucking deserve it at this point.
And I will always answer Rhal's call, regardless.
Aww.
Hagen
Gross.
reaches across and lays a hand on the top of your head.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel this, like when you're really cold and you step into a slightly warm shower and you just suddenly have that whoosh from head to toe? That's exactly what happens to you. That's how you feel it. And you feel in one of your pockets the smallest kind of like additional weight. And it's this small bronze coin. And Hagen says, when you have need of us, you just need to call on the coin.
Like, put it to my mouth and yell at it?
If that is your method. Again, he
Cool.
has this kind of like big smile on his face and like, okay.
Hagen, I have a question for you if you don't mind.
Of course.
When this all goes down and we need to call upon the armies,
Yes.
do I need to be like miles away from Zaltanna so that Bellum and Cicero don't start getting into their own fight against each other? Is that a concern that I need to have?
No, it is not.
Okay.
After, perhaps, but not during.
Okay, but take that to a different plane of existence.
Provided we have them, yes.
Okay, that's fine. I just don't need to be dealing with that.
Yeah. Understood. But no, this should not be a problem.
Okay, good. Great. Fantastic.
We have a gift for you, Zaltanna,
Oh my god.
as leader of the armies of Bellum. One of the shadows that have been serving you previously emerges from Hagen's shadow. The creature is holding aloft this onyx-looking armor. The swirls of bright white all over it. It's clearly some sort of plate armor. And he says, this armor, it is called Bellum's Last Stand. Made of onyx, light, durable, protects you from more than just swords. And he gifts you Bellum's Last Stand. It's a +1 plate armor, so your total armor now becomes 19. I decided just to check it up and figure out what the fuck it did.
So what's your bonus? That's at 21 AC. Holy
Yep,
shit.
19 before bonuses. Crits become normal hits. You're crit immune. And you don't have disadvantage on stealth because I can't cope with this anymore.
Oh my god.
Thank you all so much for listening to this episode. This one was pretty heavy, a result of a fairly heavy prior episode. So yeah, this one was fairly intense at the table, and huge props to Aethel and Arch and Neil and Casey, and this whole thing has just been wild. Also saying thank you, I guess I better say thank you to Dargar for voicing Grumsh. Thank you for doing that very last minute. You're pretty good. Thank you. If you want to help us out, please go leave us a review wherever it is that you could possibly leave us reviews. That would be awesome. I also want to thank one of our newer patrons, Mac. Thank you very much. You keep the lights on around here and allow us to do cool things like, hanging out in person and recording, which is awesome. And also, better say thank you to Reese Hawkins for the name Frelia. Thank you all so much for listening. And enjoy Dark Dice, because if you didn't know, the crossover event finally came out on Dark Dice. It's airing there now. Part 2 is coming out in a couple of days. So go listen to that. It was a lot of fun to revisit that episode now that we're like 5 or 6 years on. I'm not really sure how far, but it sounds super amazing over on Dark Dice. It's a very different take on our kind of much more I don't know, carefree way of going about horror. So go check out Dark Dice and you'll hear an ad for them now.
Get ready for a new gripping horror actual play podcast, Dark Dice. 6 travelers embark on a journey into the ruinous domain of the Nameless God. They will never be the same again. One of the players is not what they seem after a doppelganger, a creature that can assume the form and voice of whatever it kills, infiltrates the team. As the players are picked off and replaced one at a time, can they figure out who the monster is before it's too late? Can you? Dark Dice features an award-winning full-voice cast of non-player characters and a phenomenal fantasy soundtrack featuring live hurdy-gurdy, lutes, and dulcimers. Do you seek him? Find Dark Dice however you enjoy podcasts.